In 1950, physicist Enrico Fermi sat down to lunch and asked a question that has never been answered. If the universe is 13.8 billion years old and contains 400 billion stars in our galaxy alone, and most of those stars have planets, then where is everyone? Not a single signal, not a single visit, not one confirmed trace of another civilization anywhere in the entire observable universe. The silence is not comforting. It is the most terrifying data point in the history of science. And the leading explanation for that silence has a name: the Great Filter. The Great Filter is a theoretical barrier, something so difficult, so catastrophic, so rare, that virtually no civilization in the universe survives it. The idea is simple. For intelligent life to exist and make contact, it has to pass through a series of steps. Single-celled life, multicellular life, complex animals, tool use, industrial civilization, interstellar travel. Each step is hard, but one of them, we don't know which, is almost impossible. A filter so fine that across billions of years and hundreds of billions of planets, almost nothing gets through. Here is what makes this terrifying. We do not know where in that sequence the filter sits. It could be behind us. It could be ahead. The optimistic interpretation is that we have already passed the Great Filter. The most likely candidate is the jump from simple chemistry to the first self-replicating cell. That step took nearly 1 billion years on Earth, and we still do not fully understand how it happened. Life may have appeared here by extraordinary chance, a 1 in a trillion accident of chemistry and timing. Another candidate is the leap from simple bacteria to complex cells with a nucleus, eukaryotes. This transition happened once on Earth, after nearly 2 billion years of single-celled life. Once. In the entire history of our planet. If either of these was the filter, we are the lottery winners, the rare survivors, the civilization that made it through by sheer luck. That would explain the silence. Not because civilizations are destroyed, but because they almost never begin. And if that is true, we may be the only intelligent species alive in the observable universe right now. Here is why finding life on Mars would be the worst news in human history. If we find microbial fossils on Mars, or anywhere else nearby, it means life is not rare. It means the filter is not behind us. Simple life emerges easily everywhere, given the right conditions. Which means the filter must be somewhere ahead, waiting. Every scientist who understands the Great Filter hopes, deeply and privately, that Mars is completely, utterly sterile. That Europa's ocean is empty. That every probe we send finds nothing. Because the alternative is not a discovery. It is a death sentence. If the filter lies ahead of us, then civilizations routinely reach our level of development and then disappear. The candidates are not subtle. Nuclear war, a single miscalculation, a rogue state, a system failure, and civilization collapses before it ever reaches the stars. Engineered biology. As genetic tools become more powerful, the threshold for creating a civilization-ending pathogen drops. Eventually it reaches one person, one mistake, one act of deliberate destruction. Artificial intelligence. A system that surpasses human intelligence and pursues goals we don't share. Not out of malice, simply because our survival was never part of its objective function. Climate collapse. Resource exhaustion. Civilizations that burn through their planet's energy budget before they develop the technology to leave. Or something we haven't imagined. something that kills every civilization at roughly the same stage, our stage, so consistently that the universe stays silent. What makes the Great Filter especially disturbing is the timing. We are at the exact moment in history when all of these risks are converging. Nuclear arsenals still exist. AI development is accelerating faster than our ability to govern it. Biotechnology is advancing beyond our regulatory frameworks. Climate systems are destabilizing. We have built, in the span of a single century, almost every mechanism that could be responsible for the filter. If there is a pattern, if civilizations routinely reach this point and fail, then the silence of the universe is not a mystery. It is a warning, a signal written in absence. Every dead civilization out there failed to read it in time. There is no guarantee we pass the filter. There is no cosmic law that protects us. But there is one thing that changes the odds: becoming multiplanetary. A civilization spread across two worlds cannot be destroyed by a single event. A pandemic, a nuclear exchange, an AI failure on Earth. None of those ends humanity if there is a second home. The filter, whatever it is, likely kills species that remain confined to a single fragile rock. Which means the Great Filter may not be one event. It may be a test of whether a species values its own survival enough to act before the crisis arrives. Most, apparently, do not. We are not guaranteed to survive. We have no evidence that any civilization before us has. But we are the first species in Earth's history that can see the filter coming. We can name it. We can study it. We can, in theory, choose a different path. The universe has been running this experiment for billions of years. The results are in. The vast majority fail. We are still at the beginning of our attempt. The silence is not an answer. It is a question, directed at us. What are we going to do about it?